Hey everybody, this is the Best Ball Badger, Winston Lee. I'm here with my good friend Dale Ting, who runs confidencepoolpicks.com, and he's also hosting my site, so I'm very grateful to have him on board. Today we're going to play on draft. We're going to do a best ball format with 12 teams. It's going to be a quick draft, meaning 30-second picks. Just going to walk you through that right now. Uh, First, I'm going to open up a window here. Just give me a sec.
Hello, everybody. I have never actually drafted best ball before, so I am not kidding.
So right now we're at the draft.com site. You can see there's quite a few options here. We want NFL. And Dale, you can see all this stuff?
I can.
All right, that's a good sign. All right. And the nice thing about draft is it's got all sorts of different entry fees. If you're a high roller, you can go all the way up to $2,500 a draft. We're not, so we're just going to stick to one of these quick ones. All right, so this is the one we're looking at, 12-person fast best ball. Just going to click on that. Wanted to show you guys a couple things. Here are the rules. So essentially, in best ball, it's kind of like fantasy football, traditional, except everything happens at the draft. You draft your team of 18 players, and then every week, your top scoring players make your lineup, and everyone else who doesn't. So it's kind of a nice thing. You don't have to set your lineup every week. You don't have to worry about trades or free agency. If you really enjoy drafting, I would really recommend this format. It's very fun. You can see your top scoring QB every week, 2 RBs, 3 wide receivers, and tight end and a flex get scored. Everyone else does not get scored. Prize pool, out of 12 teams, you get 3 people who make money. So I'm just going to click enter here. It will take, some time for the draft to fill. And once the draft fills, I think there's about a minute or so before the draft starts.
So
And I
listen,
would
with
say,
best ball, what are some things we have to think about? So you want to draft a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of running backs. I mean, what are some differences with best ball versus like a normal fantasy league draft?
I would say there's a lot of similarities. You only need, one quarterback. There tends to be a lot of quarterbacks in the pool, so you don't necessarily have to reach for them. Uh, Another thing about quarterbacks is since you cannot stream, you don't want to wait till the very end. So that's kind of a difference. You don't want to wait till the very end of the draft and pick up, let's say, Matt Stafford or something, hoping you'll get off to a hot start, but have the availability to stream in regular football leagues. In best ball, you basically want to pick 2 or 3 QBs that are decent options.
Okay, so don't take as much risk on the QBs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Similar thing with tight ends is you can't stream in best ball, meaning you have to have some decent options. And really, the tight end landscape is pretty terrible in the last few years. This year, I see maybe 3 studs, 2 decent options, and then a couple people that might be okay as a flyer. Tight end's really pretty scary. And then, just like in regular football, you want to load up on running backs and wide receivers. More so on running backs because, again, you're kind of stuck with what you have, and there's tends to be injuries, and you just want to account for that.
So it looks like the draft has started. Is that right?
Yep. So we've got
Okay.
going. Not surprisingly, Saquon and McCaffrey are the first 2 picks. Lev Bell, number 3. That's really
Pretty
early.
early.
I'm kind of surprised there. Normally it's Zeke or Kamara there, but Zeke's has his holdout situation, and they're saying he might, or Jerry Jones is saying he might hold out for a couple months. That would be terrible for your first pick.
So we're probably looking at a running back or a top rated receiver when we get to what we're at 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see. If Zeke falls to us, that's very tempting.
Yeah.
He's he's kind of in a slightly different situation as Gordon. He's got, you know, basically I think a year left, and then his fifth year rookie extension.
All right. I say we
So I'd
take
be
Zeke.
surprised if he holds out that long. Oh, so it's us.
Yes, let's take
Yeah.
him.
All right, let's take him.
Let's do it.
Why not? That's
You
incredible
know, it's funny.
value.
So you said Zeke, if he doesn't hold out, he's probably not going to hold out. But I thought the same thing for Le'Veon Bell last year too.
Yeah, that's true. So that's it's a gamble. I mean, at 1.9, if he doesn't hold out, that's going to be amazing.
Well, and
You
also
know,
this is best ball too, right? So if you have somebody later that does well, you fill in the hole.
yeah. So if he holds out for, a month, he still might pay off on his value. He'll still be awesome for 12 games.
Now, do we want to? How do handcuffs work now with best ball? Same thing, or is it good to pick a handcuff?
So in general, handcuffs are okay, I guess. Usually they come much later in the process. I prefer to have like handcuffs with standalone value. When you get to really at the end of the draft, you'll see like these
All right, looks like a
rookies.
receiver is going to follow us. Oh, just kidding. They're all gone.
Well, Tariq's still there. That'd be great.
Tyreek Hill. He's also
Uh,
has an issue, domestic violence issue, right? Oh,
yeah.
he's gone. Never
So
mind.
he was not suspended, which is
No,
great news.
good for fantasy league.
Yeah.
Uh, Now the
So
question: do we go with receiver or running back? Right?
right. So I
I see.
prefer running backs typically, but I'll leave it up to you if you want. I'd
We have
recommend
running
Mixon
backs,
or Juju
so
here.
I'll do Smith Schuster.
All right, so let's go Juju.
Hurry up! Here we go.
We got him. All right.
Antonio
Um,
Brown's gone, right? So
yeah. So we're there's three drafters in between us on the turn. That gives us a little bit more leeway in terms of um, how you want to draft. When you're really at the end of the draft, like picking 1, 2, or 11, 12, you kind of get into some scenarios where you just have to pick the guy you want and you have to reach a little bit since, there could be
so
20 picks in between.
so it is a snake draft, right? And we're at 9, so we're up in a little bit. So let's look down the list here and just kind of plan.
Yeah. So, typically in these kinds of drafts, I like to take, the high end running backs early, followed by the higher end wide receivers. Um, Try to gauge, when a tight end would be worth picking up. In these end of the ninth or 10th pick, typically you get a shot at Kittle or Ertz. But we'll see.
Yeah, it looks
We'll
like all
see.
these second tier running backs are going to go. And then do we want to do something like a Gordon who's also holding out?
Gordon, I'm really scared of, honestly.
Yeah, we
I
already
could
have an
see
Elliott who
him.
might be holding out, and now
Yeah, he could
Gordon.
be holding out for a long time.
So we probably don't want to do that.
Yeah, he could be holding out like half the year and maybe just coming back to just get his year counted so he can
Yep.
become a free agent. But he could also get traded to some random team. There's just a lot of uncertainty there.
So how many picks before us? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So we got a ways.
Oh, wait. All right, so we got to look
Yeah.
way down on this list here. So I'm guessing a tight end is not going to be available by the time it gets to us.
Right.
So we're gonna
So Kittle
probably
and Ertz
gonna.
are usually going around here. Maybe Ertz drops to us. That'd be great. We'd pick him up. Otherwise, we're probably looking at another running back here.
Or when do you take a quarterback? So these they come later, right? This is a 12-team league, but still only one quarterback.
Right. So typically, Mahomes in the fourth, you see that. I don't like that. It seems like it's a little bit early, even though I saw his NFL Top 100 video recently, and he looks ridiculous.
He looks awesome.
But we'd expect some regression from his 50 touchdowns. He's probably gonna come down to earth early low
there goes
30s
Ertz.
or low 40s maybe.
So we're what? We're 5 picks away. It's looking like Keenan Allen area. Yeah, I think it looks pretty
Yeah.
good there.
Oh,
Who's below Mahomes there? Leonard
uh,
Fournette. No, it drops off pretty quick there.
yeah. So I mean, I really like taking a running back here just because.
Receivers are easier to find.
Yeah, I mean, after this round of running backs, the drop
Drops off.
off is pretty
Okay.
steep.
We got two left. It's either going to be Aaron Jones, Kerryon Johnson, or Leonard Fournette.
Yeah. So I
So
personally
Derrick
like
Henry's
carry on.
back, huh?
I personally like carry on. Well, we just got
No,
grabbed
we can
there.
go for the homer pick with Aaron Jones here if he
Yeah,
falls.
that's
Is it Fournette?
yeah. So we can take
All right,
Aaron
let's
Jones
take him.
here.
All right, that works out. Get our Packer.
All right.
So far, this really still feels like a normal fantasy league draft. I don't see
Yeah.
anything different from best ball or anything like that.
I mean, I would say Amari Cooper is probably going earlier in these types of drafts because he has crazy boom bust. He's not a guy you kind of want to count on in a regular league.
Okay, so you want to draft more boom bust type guys in best ball.
I would say just in general, like your early picks, you just want to go with
Solid.
high point totals. You don't necessarily have to go boom bust. And then after, you have your, top two or three running backs or wide receivers, yeah, then the variance comes into play where you really need some boom in order to crack that starting lineup.
Okay. So this is all documented in some articles you wrote up on the
Yes.
website.
Yep.
I haven't read them yet, but I read the title, so that's why I know some of this.
That's good. So we're coming
All right,
up
so we got
in
4 up.
three,
Okay.
yeah, three
So
picks.
you still wouldn't want a quarterback here, or would you?
No.
No.
I mean,
So you got Cooks, Henry, Edelman, Goodwin.
Edelman would be amazing if he dropped here, but the LA wide receivers are solid too, and
Yep.
we're definitely gonna get one of those guys.
Because we've got 2 running backs.
So I'd recommend Edelman here. I think he's
All right.
really good value. He's basically
Let's
the only guy there.
let's do Edelman.
All right.
He's got a pretty good quarterback throwing to him too,
Yes.
although he's pretty old this year.
And I got to be honest, this is a lot faster than I recall. 30-second draft pick is this draft's gonna breeze by pretty
Good.
quickly.
Because I'm sure what everybody wants to do is to watch a 4-hour long draft video of other people drafting. It's kind of like vacation
Yeah.
slides.
I'm hoping we can wrap this up in an hour or so. So right now, what do we got? We got
What's our roster look like?
Yeah, let's see. All right. Where is our roster?
Are you paying to be part of this? Like you have to put in the $5, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is where we have a while to go before it's our turn.
So you'll see typically quarterbacks probably go a little bit later in best ball, and tight ends go a little bit earlier.
The tight ends are more boom and bust. These
Right.
quarterbacks are a little more consistent. If you can get a starter, they're pretty consistent. Now the problem is if you have an injury, so you definitely need a few quarterbacks because of the injury.
Yeah.
Now, how many total players again?
18.
18. Okay.
So I typically like to have 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends, and then I can load up on running back, wide receiver. So either 6-8 or 7-7.
Are there any backup quarterbacks worth looking at this year?
No.
No. Okay.
So typically, these rookie quarterbacks that come in and take over, halfway through the season, they just don't put up the numbers that are going to be useful to your lineup.
Yeah,
If
it's not every year you get a Brett Favre that comes in, and that's a really
right,
old reference.
yeah.
1992.
So where are we? We're a while away. Um,
All
yeah, this year, what are we talking about? Eli might go down, a couple games in the season, or maybe
right.
halfway, and
Kyler Murray.
Daniel
Well,
Jones
Kyler Murray's
comes
a
in.
starter, right?
Yeah,
So
Kyler Murray, he's going to be worth picking up, but in terms of
he's the
backup
starter.
quarterbacks, it's
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, in terms of backup quarterbacks, there's really no one that you're going to want to reach for.
Okay.
And even
All right. So
those,
you're up in
even
two,
those, even those fringe starting quarterbacks, they're not going to be that helpful either.
right? All right. So we're up in two. What are we looking at? Running back here. Go with the quarterback.
Chris Carson's going to be
Carson's
really
pretty
good.
good. All right.
I could also see Evan Ingram. They're having a whole bunch of wide
Let's go with
receiver
Carson.
issues.
Let's go with Carson
All right.
because we've got that Elliott we have to deal with in case.
Yep. Good idea.
And then maybe look. Hopefully the tight end bounces back to us.
Yeah, so if Ingram comes back to us, I would definitely pick him up there. Otherwise, you're looking at a little bit of a wait.
Yep.
Who are
Oh,
we
someone
gonna...
took Eckler, so I guess they're counting on Melvin Gordon's holdout.
Yeah.
I almost feel like the backup running backs like that, because it's a boomer bust, maybe better for best ball.
Yeah. So backup running backs are key to best ball.
Okay.
Anyone who basically steps into that starting position, whether they win the role or they, get it due to injury, they tend to, break out and help your team a lot. James Conner last year was essentially,
Yes.
the
Absolutely.
last pick, and he was
All right.
an
All right. Is
RB1.
our tight end going to fall to us? Is Henry? Wait, who's left?
Yeah, so
Nope, he didn't fall.
I don't know, we could maybe, well, let's see, one, two. All these guys
Yeah,
are
these tight ends
decent
all look.
options. It's probably reaching a little bit for those guys.
What do we got? You don't want to go quarterback here, probably. It's looking
We
kind of
could.
sparse.
Deshaun Watson has top 3 potential. I could see taking Robbie Anderson. He's good as well. Either that or we're reaching for a tight end here.
A tight end.
So
All
what do you
right.
think?
What do we want to do
Well, we
here?
lost Robbie. So I would
Okay.
say
So
Watson or reaching for a tight end.
let's go with Watson.
All right.
Ugh,
He's good.
tight ends are always so painful.
So usually if I pick up a quarterback in the 6th to 8th rounds, then I'm waiting pretty long for
For the next one.
a quarterback. If I don't get one before the 10th round, 9th round, 10th round, sometimes you can wind up with having Cam Newton in the 9th and Goff in the 10th. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's
If
true.
I get an early like Watson or Rodgers, then I'm probably waiting till like the 14th round where you can get,
You get
like a
the
Brady
Sam
or
Darnolds of the world.
Stafford. Yeah. Just someone who's going to be decent with some upside.
So now that we have a little bit of time, let's talk through the tight end list now, because we're going to need one.
Right,
pretty
yeah.
soon. What do we got in tight ends right now?
So, Jared Cook's going to be pretty interesting. I don't think he's going to make it all the way back to us. But we probably want to take him there. He had a very good season with Oakland, and now he's going to New Orleans with Breeze. Eric Ebron, I don't really trust him because he had a historically high amount of touchdowns last year, and they just have so many passing options now. So I would personally be looking at Cook or Njoku maybe, but Njoku's going to be later.
So where does it drop off? Like, I guess these are all pretty decent, but where's the drop off for tight ends here?
So I would say Cook is kind of in his own tier.
Okay.
After that, you just got a whole bunch of dudes.
So you guess all these dudes, do we maybe want to bounce them back too and come back and take them in the next round?
Yeah. So I would definitely not If
So
Cook
if
falls
Cook's
to
there, we
us,
take him.
we
If
can
not,
grab him. If not, all these
yeah,
guys
we'll wait.
have some upside. Mark Andrews flashed. Trey
All
Burton
right.
was supposed to be special last year, and the
So
Bears
if we
just.
don't do tight end, then we're gonna look at wide receiver, running back again, right?
Yep, definitely.
Okay. So what do
So
we
let's see.
got?
Who do we like out of running back, wide receiver? Eh. Penny, first round
Fuller.
draft pick last
Fuller was
year.
good.
Carson could get injured, and Seattle will basically put up, top 2 in rushing attempts.
Is this
Dante
Will Fuller the
Pettis.
fifth?
Will Fuller, I'm scared of. I don't
He
know if
gets
he's
injured, but when
ever
he plays, he's
played
awesome.
That's true. Um, it does
Latavius
also
Murray.
it does also give you quite a bit of variance there with the Watson Fuller stack. If he's
Ooh,
manages
you're
to stay-
right. You're
if
right.
he
Good
manages
call,
to
Matt.
stay healthy, it'll be awesome.
So let me ask you then. Are combos like that worth it for best ball?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So you want
combos. So
to
you want high
increase
variance.
variance. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have stacks, that's usually a good thing, especially when the offense pays out. Um,
Yeah, it's looking kind of sparse down there.
yeah. I like Marvin Jones this year. He was basically hurt for part of the season, and Stafford was also, I think he had a shoulder injury,
Okay.
even though they plan on running the ball a lot more.
So we got 2 ahead of us now. So let's look at our tight ends. So Cook is gone, so we can forget the tight end for this round.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
we'll wait on that.
between. It's gonna be between Murray, I guess, Penny, Murray. Oh, here we go. All right, so now it's between running back and receiver. What are you thinking?
So it's either Penny, which it's going to be a very good pick there, or Watkins, who's flashed, but again always injured, or Jones.
Which Jones?
Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones. All right, let's do Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones. All right. All right.
We should probably put in a list just in case that happens. We came to the end there. All right, so bounce back. Now, question again, tight end or do we wait?
Yeah, so we can pick up a tight end here.
Let's see what we got here. Yeah, these are all pretty even, right? All these guys. The problem is it's a long way before it comes back to us.
Yeah.
Like 10
So
picks or 20 picks.
I mean, another nice thing to look at. I know, we don't have too much time here in between picks here, but just, hey, here's what we're looking at. If we go back up, pretty much all these guys have tight ends. You might see 2 go off the board, so I really see no need to draft a tight end at this spot.
I agree. Let's look at the receivers around.
All these guys are, basically a bunch. Maybe we wind up with Andrews and Burton. That's going to be decent.
Fine. All right, so running backs and receivers again. So let me ask you too. For quarterbacks, do we need to worry about bias?
I'm going to add Penny. Let's just add him because if he comes back, that's going to be a good pick. Sorry, say it again.
Bye weeks for quarterbacks, we got to watch out for that too, right?
Yep, definitely. Your 2 ofs. Okay, so we lost Penny. Now we're up.
Okay.
So you're between Sammy Watkins, who could be amazing if he stays healthy. Henderson.
The Gurley handcuff.
Yep.
With Henderson, the Gurley handcuff.
Yeah, or Royce Freeman. He's going to share the time
with Philip Lindsay.
Henderson's probably got more upside. So it's up to you. 5 seconds.
All right, let's do Henderson.
All right.
Oh,
we got Ebron.
No, great. Oh well. Well, we've been
all right.
Too busy talking in between our picks.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, it's not.
We have our tight end.
Just, normally, I wouldn't be picking up Ebron, but it is what it is. He has certainly touchdown upside. Just they got in a lot of pieces there.
Later in the year when Ebron's our MVP, we're going to talk about how we both, saw that coming. And we wanted
right, exactly.
Yeah, things are moving. They're cooking.
Yeah. So now we got our QB, tight end. Now we can really, set our cue here.
Just go for the home runs now.
Yeah. I really like the
Wow, Larry Fitzgerald's still playing, huh?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
All right, Jordan Howard, I think is not bad. He's the starter in Philly?
Presumptive. I would say most people expect Miles Sanders to take the starting job.
So just for the record, this is early August. We've got a while yet before the actual season starts. So I'm not really up to speed yet on most of the stuff, and we're just taking guesses.
Yeah.
But that's part of the fun of best ball too, right? If you do it early, you can do it like early in the season or in the off season.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
And the fun thing is if you're drafting frequently, you'll see these guys move up and down on a whim, essentially based on reports out of camp or injuries.
And the further out, I mean, I guess the closer you get to the season, the more like real fantasy football it is. The further away from the season, it's kind of less. It's just for fun. You take a shot at a lot of people.
Yeah. So further out, it's a lot of speculation.
Yeah.
Before Tyreek's suspension was announced or lack of suspension, he was probably before his issue was talked about, he was probably dropping down to like the 8th round, and then after he met with the commissioner and had a good meeting, he moved up to the 4th round, and then the instant that they announced that he had no suspension, he moved into the 2nd round. So that's one of those guys where they move a lot. You could get tremendous value on them, especially if you're
can you scroll forward?
gambling.
I just want to see how close we are to my pick.
Yes.
Oh,
all right,
shit.
we're up next.
All right. Jordan Howard would be solid.
I personally would not subscribe to him. Honestly, I think he's going to lose the job. I think Peyton Barber is actually a pretty good pick here. Damian Harris or Ronald Jones have some upside if they can win the job.
All right, let's pick one of those guys. Go Ronald Jones,
right.
I guess.
All right, let's pick Ronald Jones.
Since we don't have time.
Right there. That's the quick way. So if you're running low on time, you can just favorite them. It'll add it to your queue. That way you don't have to click it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
There's a pro tip
that's a
from Winston.
nice shortcut there. Of course, when you're drafting, you're probably going to be a little bit more focused on your actual draft then.
Yeah, not trying to talk to the audience. It's like people that do carpool karaoke. It's just you should probably be focusing on driving. All right, so we got a quick turnaround here. Do we start doing like the high end, the high variance handcuffs and stuff now, or?
So I definitely recommend. Let's see, are there any receivers that are left?
Yeah, we could use some receivers, can't we?
DK Metcalf's pretty interesting choice there. Amazing combine, and he's probably going to wind up being the second receiver there in Seattle. They don't pass much, but Wilson likes to throw the ball deep.
We got bunches of Funchess below him. Oh, here we go. Do we do Metcalf here?
Yeah, I'd recommend
let's do it.
Yep.
Boom. Cool. So now we have a little bit of time here.
Yeah, so let's see. We can kind of review our roster. Let's see. It's interesting because I usually use the phone app. It's laid out a little bit different than this.
So how many drafts have you done for the 2019 season?
2019. I'm probably up to like 70 drafts.
70. Holy cow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can draft as many as you want concurrently, especially the slow format.
Okay.
So we're playing the fast format. Everyone's got 30 seconds. Draft wraps up about an hour. If you play the slow format, everyone gets 8 hours in between picks, and then some additional time when it's nighttime and sleepy time. And I would say that lasts, anywhere from 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks. So you can have, a bunch going on at the same time. You're not going to be overwhelmed.
So the ADP here, they've taken into account that this is a best ball draft, right?
Yes. So this
Okay.
is the draft ADP. They're not using some kind of community
Okay.
ADP.
All right, so let's look around for the sleepers again. I guess before you do the draft, some prep you could do is just figure out where the sleepers are or where the high variance people are. Is that the right thing to do?
Yeah. Um, so, sorry, are you talking about like in general or
Yeah,
at
in
this
general,
point in the draft?
if you're prepping for a best ball draft, you should probably be looking for those high variance people, right?
Yeah, so definitely,
I mean,
you
anybody
want
can
high
pick,
variance.
Saquon Barkley.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I would say like the first couple rounds of the draft, it's going to be very similar to a regular draft. Near this end, you're going to be looking at high variance players. So either people who can step up in case of injury or just win the job outright, or just big boom bust guys. Normally
sure.
I'd
Can
Deshaun
you scroll
Jackson.
forward again? I'm always a little nervous when I don't see when the next few picks.
All right. So Goff in
Like,
the 10th. That's a very nice pick.
yeah. So I guess for
Um,
future reference, you can wait on the quarterbacks still.
oh yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and if we have, let's see how much. Are we up yet? No. All right, cool. So if we have a little bit of time, we should take a look at the tight ends and just see had we have waited. Yeah, we still got people here. Are these guys still just as good as Ebron?
Uh, no. I
No.
mean, there's a
Okay, so we
drop
did
off
good.
here for sure.
Okay, so we
Uh,
did pretty decently with that pick.
yeah, so we're probably gonna want to wait here. You can maybe get, Jordan Reed, who's always hurt, but when he plays, he's amazing.
Good. All right. So what are we looking at here? Probably another running back receiver.
Yeah, definitely.
What do we got available? Kareem Hunt. That's a boom bust guy for sure.
Yeah, we don't even know if he's gonna play.
Right. Trayvon Smith had a pretty good. I guess
Yeah,
was a
Traquan
sleeper
is a
last year.
typical boom bust. He had two huge games last year, and I expect him to step up this year.
Well,
I
that's
don't
ours.
mind him here, so
Let's take him.
get him.
It's our pick. Let's
Let's
take him.
take a little bit more time here just to
Well, we
look.
got 13 seconds, so
Yeah, so we're gonna take Traquan. That's fine, but right around here, Adrian Peterson's gonna be good. I still don't trust Darius Geis. He was out all of
we
last
should have
year. And
we should have picked Adrian Peterson and Larry Fitzgerald to be the all old team.
hey man, they can produce all year. It's
That's
nice
right.
to
Then we
have.
could put we can draft Tom Brady as the quarterback. Then
Yeah, it's nice to have one or two of those guys on your team just to basically stabilize everything. You don't want everybody to be boom bust.
so best ball is kind of like in golf when you have a scramble. You want the one person that's gonna hit it down the middle, not very far, but at least down the middle and the fairway.
Yeah,
And then you have a couple guys that can try to drive the green.
yep. So Matt Breida is a great pick there.
Okay, what else we got? We're coming up.
McKinnon got hurt essentially, so it's going to be timeshare, and
Let's take a look at our running backs,
he's
receivers here. I
pretty
think
fast.
this is where my lack of preparation
So
is starting to
12
come back
for
to haunt me.
yeah.
I don't know any of these. These are all the rookies, all these like high value or high variance guys. To me, I look into it later as we get close to the camp.
So Jordan Reed's probably not bad here. You could take a shot at Kareem Hunt. It's a little scary because he's only going to play 8 games.
Yeah, let's do Reed.
Right. See if I
Got
can.
10 seconds.
Yeah, let's see if I can do it. It'll be close. Oh, there we go. All right.
All right, we got him.
And normally we'd be able to see our team here pretty easily by clicking it in the app. This is kind of funny where oh, wait, there we go. All right, so Normally you'd want to just check. Okay, you're only going to take two tight ends here, just to double check their bye week.
Oh yeah, we didn't look at bye weeks. Probably should have done that.
Yeah.
So this
And
this
it
app
would.
doesn't show the bye week.
Yeah. Well, in your phone, which is where I normally draft, it
Okay.
does show you. So maybe we want to take a quick peek at Deshaun Watson's bye.
Okay. Yeah, that's very important. The tight end bye is whatever.
So I'm
The
gonna have to go look on my phone here.
So can you scroll forward again up there just so I can watch?
Yeah.
There you go. That makes me feel better. I can.
This is the long face here.
Okay, cool.
But we can take a look just to see what other people are picking. Tom Brady in the 12th. That's actually pretty early, but not a bad pick.
He's got the brand name.
Yeah.
All right, so we are how many rounds in? 12 rounds in.
Yeah. So right now, we need another quarterback at some point, and then filling out our running back.
So
wide
this is
receiver
where we should
slots.
put the rookie. We should pick rookie running backs now.
Yeah, a lot of them are probably taken here. The common ones. Alexander Madison. Oh, he's still there. That's not bad.
Devontae Parker, the sleeper every year, the sleeper bust.
Yeah. So I would recommend not drafting Devontae Parker this year.
He's like the CJ Spiller of my life.
Yeah. So let's see. I'd be pretty happy with Devin Singletary or Madison if they come back. Both are rookies. Madison's kind of carved out his Latavius Murray role in the Minnesota offense. Devin Singletary, it's basically him swimming in a pool of old running backs in Buffalo.
Yes.
He's just got to beat out McCoy and Gore. TJ Yeldon's there too, but he's
That's right. We can add
Yeldon's
McCoy
not
to
going to be
our
the main ball carrier.
we can add McCoy to our old team.
So let's see. I bet those two guys don't make it back to us, but we could.
Looks like
highlight
Kareem
them.
Hunt just went.
Big deal.
So you've done a little bit of analysis as to the makeup of winning teams. So how many of each position do you think we need to be picking total?
2 to 3 quarterbacks is pretty common, with not too much of a difference. But usually the 3 quarterbacks is going to be pretty late guys that you just kind of piece together to make one decent quarterback. Running backs, I was kind of surprised by my analysis. I knew, hey, you start 2 and a flex, so maybe you need, 2x that position, maybe 5 or 6. But a lot of the winning rosters have 7 or 8 running backs. So that just shows you the importance of having depth in case your guys get injured, and also having upside. If the other guys get injured, your guy steps up into the starting role.
So looking at our roster, we need to start looking at running backs.
Yes. So this is kind of where we take our shots. And it looks like we're going to get one of these
look
guys.
at your rookies. You got Singletary and Madison.
Yeah. So I prefer Madison here, and it looks like we're going to get him. The reason is, Madison's got his carved out role. He's going to be in a timeshare with Cook. And, if Cook goes down, then he's going to be amazing. Singletary, he's still got to work his way up the chain. He might not get a significant amount of play until, halfway through the season.
Good. Are any of the big name handcuffs available? Let me go down here. Like Chase
All
Edmonds
the big names are probably gone.
Yeah.
But, these guys are decent. Chase Edmonds, he's backing up David Johnson. And he's shown that he can play well if he gets the ball. Ito Smith is definitely the backup to Freeman, but when he had the opportunity last year, he kind of stunk. I think it was like high 3s and yards per carry or something like that.
Go down some more. Let's see. Yeah, so we're probably.
Giovanni Bernard's fine.
He doesn't have much upside though. I don't think.
Yeah. But
he's okay.
he's in a timeshare with Mixon. if
Right.
Mixon goes down, he's going to be a pretty good play.
C.J. Anderson was really good in the playoffs last year.
Yes. I
So he's
expect him to
potential.
be not as good running behind the Detroit line.
How about like okay, so how are we doing here? How we're coming up? Because after this this round here, we'll ask you about wide receivers. We'll look through the wide receivers. So what do we got for our queue right now?
Nobody. So I like
Nobody. That's
Nicole
fine too.
Hardman here, if you're okay with that. Um,
Okay, we got no more running backs.
yeah.
Okay, we didn't
Um,
get the chance to talk receivers, but we'll go with let's talk receivers.
I could
Um,
also see going quarterback here. We're going to be picking from scraps later, but that's okay.
yeah, I think Carr is a good bounce back candidate. Stafford's always a good bounce back because he likes throwing downfield.
Yeah.
Um,
So normally, if we had more time, we'd kind of want to just take a look here. So we're going up this way. Maybe one quarterback's picked, maybe two. If someone's going three QBs. So that means uh, we're probably stuck between Carr, Stafford, and one more guy, which isn't bad.
it's not bad. I'd take that.
Yeah. So let's.
Carr's got AB
Uh,
now.
yep. So let's not take that risk going back around
All right, let's grab the
the other
quarterback.
turn.
No, somebody
So Carr and
made a Devontae
Stafford.
Parker. Somebody took Devontae Parker. One of these years, he's going to break out.
So I'd be happy with Carr or Stafford.
Okay.
The other, like other guys down here are really a crapshoot. Foles, at least he's got the job locked up. He just signed a big contract. Dalton's, who knows if he's going to play all year. He might lose the job at some point. Mariota, at least we know he's going to be playing all year,
True.
aside from
I
injury.
think Mariota's probably a good third stringer, and Ryan Fitzmagic, you know how he is.
Yeah,
He can
so
he can go off sometimes.
I expect him to be a nice streamable candidate in regular fantasy football, but at some point, um,
Not even as a
Josh
third
Rosen's going
quarterback
to come in.
in this league.
Yeah, there's really no need for three quarterbacks unless you're really piecing together three
So
really
what
late
if somebody
round.
gets hurt and then you're going to be cut without somebody at the bye week?
That's not a big deal. I mean,
Right.
it certainly hurts your chances of putting up really big numbers. But if Deshaun Watson gets hurt, we're not going to win this league anyway.
Okay.
That's the reality.
That's true. That's a good thing about taking a whole bunch of different ones.
Yeah.
11, 12, 13,
And
14.
we kind of project health on our quarterbacks and the wide receivers.
Okay.
So that's
So
why we want to load up on running back.
we didn't exactly do the whole combo thing with quarterback receiver,
No,
but I
we
think it's
didn't.
hard to do because we only have one quarterback. So I guess
Oh,
you can do it.
Stafford went there. That
Oh no,
stinks.
we
Okay,
lost
so
our quarterbacks.
now we're looking at. Now we might as well wait till the very end here,
Bitter
but
end.
we can probably get Mariota on that.
Yeah,
On the
I'm good with Mariota.
flip
He
side.
runs too. Um,
All right, so now let's look at running back, wide receiver. Probably more focused on running back at this point.
any more
Uh,
handcuffs? Jamal Williams is a handcuff. C.J. Anderson.
so I'm not opposed to any of these guys except for C.J. Anderson. I just don't trust them. Duke Johnson, this
He's
is
got a lot
kind
of
of
people ahead
your
of him,
next.
doesn't he?
Well, CJ's just basically got Kerryon Johnson in
No, I
front
mean
of
Duke
him.
Johnson. Sorry, Duke Johnson's
Oh,
got a lot of
Duke.
people ahead of him.
So
Oh, we
Duke's
got
got
Mariota. Good.
Duke's got Nick Chubb in front of him, but he's going to be the pass catcher there. Chubb's not really there for pass catching.
Okay.
Uh, the issue is, when Hunt comes back in 8 weeks, what's his role going to be? Um, and he's kind of angry at the ownership, and he's demanding a trade. So, that's a lot of red flags. If you just want a warm body, I think Jamal Williams is fine there. Uh, who do we have? So we got Zeke, Aaron Jones, Chris Carson, Ronald Jones, Madison. Okay.
So does Mariota have anybody to throw to? Any upside people?
Delaney Walker. Typically, his wide receivers are terrible.
So maybe he's just going to run it in for us.
Yeah. And, we don't need him to do much. Watson's going to be carrying the load for this roster. Right now, I'd be focused on running back here. Guys with upside. Tony Pollard, if Zeke holds out for a significant amount of time.
True.
And then, Raquel Armstead is a really late guy, but he's really, the only guy there behind Fournette. Fournette's injured every year. Gus Edwards.
I like the thought of Pollard. Good. I like the thought of Pollard in case to hedge Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So it makes sense for our roster.
Gus Edwards.
Oh, and then I guess Jamal Williams for Aaron Jones as well as another handcuff. I guess more of a hedge than a play here.
Yeah, so I don't mind either of these guys. Jamal Williams, we've seen him as the primary running back. He's not super exciting, but if everyone else performs and we just need some points from the running back position, it's not bad.
Well, he's
so
gone.
He went there.
So, all right, he's gone.
Right, how many picks?
Scraping the bottom barrel now.
Yeah, so we got a ways away here.
Any chance we do a tight end? Are there any high upside tight ends?
So the tight end landscape is usually, a couple good guys up top, some crapshoots in the mid rounds, and at the very end, there's nobody here.
Nobody. We should just get Jason Witten on our old team.
Yeah. He's not doing anything even if he plays 16. Seals Jones, he flashed a couple years ago. He's a guy that can run fast and get a lot of yards. There's a lot of unknown in their offense this year, so that's kind of nice. The problem is, Charles Clay is also there. But out of these guys, he'd probably be my favorite, quote unquote.
Okay.
There's not much there.
So it's still really be mostly running back and maybe a tight end.
Yeah. So I'd be leaning toward, hey, we probably want 2 running backs here.
Okay.
Because right now we got 5. Zeke's kind of an unknown. Ronald Jones.
So Pollard would be great
kind of
if he lasts.
Upside.
Yeah, Pollard may not last to us, so we'll see.
So I'd recommend, picking up a bunch of these guys. It's essentially lottery tickets.
Yep.
I've been high on, I shouldn't say high on Raquel Armstead, but I've been drafting him a lot near the ends of drafts.
Get a lot of shares of him.
Yeah.
Yep, looking pretty sparse.
Yeah,
Malcolm
so this
Brown,
draft is
so if Curly's
quite interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Benny Snell went there. Tony Pollard got taken, unfortunately. Yep. I don't mind taking a shot on Alfred Morris. He's done it before. They just signed him. He knows the system.
Sounds good.
So we can put him in our
This is where you go with the veteran handcuffs now.
Yeah.
The Adrian Petersons of the world. You hope for the Adrian Petersons of the world.
Yeah, so you can see as we scroll down here, there's nothing. And it's not surprising in the 17th round.
Ajayi's still around, huh? Well, Frank Gore's still around. Still around, meaning still around in the NFL.
Yep.
Here we go. Raquel Armstead.
Yep. So that'll be our pick.
Take him. Speed this thing up.
All right.
All right, and then Mr. Irrelevant's coming up, right? 18th round.
And we got a fairly quick turn here. We'll see what comes back around.
So after we make our last pick, maybe you can just go over the roster a little bit and tell us what you think of this draft.
Sure. Yeah.
Then call it a day.
So the nice thing about going RBs early, which I prefer to do, is, at the end of the draft, you have some guys that could flash. Taylor Gabriel could catch a couple passes for long touchdowns. Randall Cobb is actually not that old.
Yeah.
I think he's 27. He's just been injury prone.
That's right. All you need is somebody who might go randomly break out for 1 or 2 games at the end here, right? Because those guys you just need somebody that'll score, that'll be in the money for you or in the score for you.
Yep. I personally like Quincy.
Oh yeah, Enunwa is good.
Yeah, he's probably going to be the second option there.
Ginn can go off randomly. Yeah, these speed burner guys are probably pretty good at this down here.
So
you just hope for like a 3 for 200 yard for 3 touchdown kind of game.
Yeah.
Random one.
Any guys you want aside from Alfred Morris?
Those receivers you talked about are pretty good. But Alfred Morris is probably good because of the whole Zeke Elliott thing.
Yeah.
Let's get him.
All right, so we'll grab him. All right.
All right, great. So why don't you pull up a roster and then maybe give a quick rundown as how you felt the draft went.
All right, here's our roster. And again, when you go in the app, I believe it orders it by position, so it's a little bit easier to look at. So at quarterback, we got Deshaun Watson and Marcus Mariota. So we definitely got high-end upside here. Watson could easily end up, the first or second quarterback on the year. Running back, we have Zeke, Aaron Jones, Chris Carson, Ronald Jones, Alexander Madison, Raquel Armstead, and Alfred Morris. It actually sounds pretty good. I was a little bit worried while we were doing the draft, but you have 3 very solid options here in Elliott, Jones, and Carson. Even though Zeke's status is kind of up in the air, we have a little bit of padding here with Madison, who's going to get at least part of the role there, and Jones, who should be better than last year.
So with the flex, do they pick the best wide receiver, running back, tight end, left?
Yes. So
okay. That's cool.
So if you have extra RBs, it puts them in there. Usually, it's a wide receiver that's taking up that slot. But okay. I could definitely see Chris Carson or Jones being that third flex guy, and that'd be very good for us.
Okay. Is there anything you would have done differently, knowing what you know now?
Yeah, draft? Definitely the Eric Ebron pick was a little bit odd.
That was an
probably
accident.
would have pushed that off a little bit and then just taken some shots later. But, he's certainly got touchdown potential. I was a little bit worried during the draft because it was hard to think and draft at the same time. But, actually we got a few guys that I really like that, I tend to have in a lot of rosters. DK Metcalf, he's got that really big boom. I could see him going for a couple really long touchdowns. Same with Mecole Hardman. He's supposed to be kind of the third option there behind Watkins and Tyreek Hill, but he can certainly run very fast and catch a 60-yard bomb from Mahomes.
The hope is catch 2 of them.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns. So get
so it's nice to have 2 in one game, but, if
right.
he's got, 4 over the course of the season, that's certainly going to help your squad.
Sure. Great. So I think what we'll do is maybe throughout the year we can keep track of this team and just see how it does, and then you can make a few posts about it, and then see how
Yeah,
it does.
definitely. So this is kind of an oddball. I didn't even know we drafted Jamison Crowder. So that's kind of an oddball pick there. We must have missed that, but
Yeah, I completely missed that.
yeah. So he's gonna play in the slot in the Jets lineup. He's probably gonna be pretty low ceiling, decent floor. So that's not bad to have, one or two of those guys on your team.
So let's check back in later in the season. You can see how these players have increased or decreased in value, and maybe these are some posts you can do. We can keep track of it.
Yeah, definitely. So what did you think? It's your first best ball draft ever.
I think this would be kind of fun in the middle of the off season. I think right now there's so many of these fantasy leagues that are starting, and I have to start thinking about those. And I haven't. This is the time of year where I haven't really started thinking about it, but I should be. Versus, during the middle of the off season where nobody's thinking about it or nobody knows, then it's more of a level playing field. Right now, I probably should have done a little more research about where all the high-end, high-variance people are. Do more, the number 3 receivers that have a lot of speed, and then the handcuff running backs. So I think at this stage, I probably need to do a little more research before doing one of these. But yeah, it seems like fun, something you can do over the off season.
Yeah, so just for the audience out there, if this is something that interests you, the nice thing about playing best ball is it really prepares you for your normal fantasy football drafts. You
Yeah.
kind of know, you have a good feeling about where everyone's kind of being drafted. You pretty much know all the players because you go kind of deep on these drafts. And then once you get into your regular draft, you'll know what's going on. And
So now I know who to draft and trade to Winston in our regular fantasy league.
yeah, of course. And then definitely head over to confidencepoolpicks.com. There's a section for Best Ball Badger where we talk about strategy, players to pick, and feel free to email me at bestballbadger@gmail.com. I'd love to field some questions for you guys.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. This is my first experience.
Yeah, thanks, Dale. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.